here, and welcome back to YOUniverse, the only pop culture website you need in your life. I'm here once again with C-Dubs, and last week's set of videos, we talked about Marvel's Fresh Start, and we talked about, in that one, because keep in mind, that was done a week before all the news we got this week, and I'm going to be here with Dubs, and because Dubs has got a life unlike me, and he didn't know about all the stuff that Marvel had announced, and we're going to talk about it here and really discuss a lot of the new Marvel stuff coming out from Marvel Fresh Start, which again, 5 months really, Marvel, you just did like, whatever, we did this before.
Right.
So, there's been a ton of Marvel stuff, especially the new writer for Spider-Man. We got, a new title for Hulk, Doctor Strange. And keep in mind, there's still titles that are going to come out. But keep in mind, this is the stuff we're talking about that got announced the final week of February, early March, So no doubt, the moment we're done with this video, another set of Marvel comics are going to be announced.
Of course. Because
I can't win. So we're going to talk about the whole list, starting with the new writer for Spider-Man, which is kind of causing some friction. And I myself am kind of a little skeptical, but I want to go into it a little nervous. I'm cautiously optimistic is the better term. That's a better term. So the new writer, for those who are unaware for Spider-Man, is Nick Spencer. And if you don't know who Nick Spencer is by name, you certainly know his work with a certain comic called Secret Empire. Now, for those who know me on my channel, I was not the biggest fan of Secret Empire. Dubs, however...
I dug it. I thought it was interesting, and again, I understand the ending. I just chalk it up to being comics, but...
Well, not only that, apparently I did some digging, is that Secret Empire went on longer than it should have because either Axel Alonso or someone else demanded for Spencer to drag that out and heavily edited it, told him to write that comic in the way he wanted to or they wanted to. I'm not sure because it wasn't... Spencer did have some stuff he wanted to do, and I'm not saying Nick Spencer was innocent in the whole thing, but...
There was definitely some suit and ties, sticking a finger in the pot, mixing it up. And you can kind of see that if you actually go back and if you ever get a chance or want to go back, you probably can pinpoint some of the, it's like, that's probably not his, that's probably his idea, that's not his idea. So I'm sure you could probably figure that out.
Yeah, especially towards the end.
Yeah, it does take some kind of loop-diddy-loops, if you will. I think you just don't like it because of Hulk, to be honest with you.
It's not the Hulk thing. Well, the Hulk thing was in Civil War too.
Right. Okay. And then, first off, yeah, you're right. But it all.
I was about to say
it all blends together.
But the other thing I didn't like is all the Punisher suddenly joining Hydra because why not? That was his whole thing. And then Hulk joining Hydra because Steve told him to, and Thor joining Hydra because, he can pick up the hammer, I guess I'll follow Steve.
Well, in Thor's case, I definitely can see that.
I don't.
I do. Come on. It's Captain... Okay, we're not going to talk too much about the Secret Empire, but...
We'll probably do a review of it at some point.
Real quick, in its little defense, think about who we're talking about. It's Captain America. In the MCU, that's like saying... If Superman says it, then you have to trust it. I mean, it is...
But it's freaking Hydra.
I understand.
It's not...
But if Superman, if we're talking, again, if LexCorp was doing all these things and all of a sudden Superman was in charge of LexCorp, everybody would trust LexCorp. It's just how it would be. Right or wrong, it's just, I'm telling you, that's how it would be. But in its defense, if everything with him is based around that hammer, Thor, and if someone who picked it up is worthy, he's going to believe that man to be worthy, and it's Cap. Who cares about Hydra? Hydra's just the back end of it all. It's Captain America, and he's worthy. I'm following this guy. I'll give you the Punisher part, and maybe everybody else, but I understood the Thor part. Anyway, moving on.
But going back to Nick Spencer writing the book, is that he's also going to have help from, and the artwork, the artist is also going to co-write, apparently, is that Ryan Otterly from Invincible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he did the artwork, and I actually saw some of his artwork for the book, and it looks good. It looked like he's perfect for Spider-Man, and I really dug Invincible.
that's new to me, so that's awesome. I really dig that. Like, Invincible is one of my all-time favorites. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I guess he needed work because Invincible just ended.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's sad.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to have him co-write, because that's the thing, is that Nick Spencer so far has not had a solo comic to his own. Like in Damnation, which is the new Doctor Strange miniseries, that he's co-writing it with someone else. So, and that's what I've seen so far, is that everyone, like, he's not being trusted with his own comic anymore. And I will also say that Nick Spencer might be a good choice, because there was actually a comic called Superior Foes of Spider-Man that came out right around with Superior Spider-Man, and it's actually really good. Nick Spencer wrote it, and it was a comic centered around Shocker, Boomerang, Speed Demon, the female Beetle, and Big Wheel, if you remember that villain. And it's so good, because it's 5 idiots running around trying to steal from Silvermane, and they steal his head. They have a corgi as a mascot, and Shocker gets his own Shocker mobile. It's so goddamn stupid, but it's written like, it's kind of written like Friends, but with supervillains.
Interesting. I did not catch that in its first run, but I will have to check that out. That's pretty funny.
And Nick Spencer, like,
I'm a huge Friends fan, so
I give it a shot. And again, it's kind of weird because Nick Spencer's doing the Free Comic Book Day title. Mm-hmm. He's doing the Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day, and he has Boomerang and half the team from Superior Foes as the lineup for Sinister Six.
Okay, interesting. So we're gonna get, is Big Wheel in this?
Oh, he is.
Oh gosh.
The only two that aren't.
This is a must read then. This is a must. I will be there.
But he goes by the name Overdrive now because he realized Big Wheel's a really stupid name.
Is it the original Big Wheel too?
Yeah.
Oh great. Well, his last name is Wheel, so I understood. Oh wow, that's interesting. I'll definitely have to check that out.
So I'm cautiously optimistic about Spencer writing Spider-Man, because, again, not totally his fault with Secret Empire, but having said that, though, he has, like, even his Captain America run for both Steve and, you know, later on with Sam, there were some points where I was like, oh, it's a little too amped. And I know what you're saying. Oh, well, Marvel's just doing this SJW. Please, Marvel's been SJW since Captain America punched Hitler in the face. All right, let's not forget. You know, there have been so much stuff. You know, the 3-part drug story with Spider-Man and Harry. You know, my thing with it is that they made it a gimmick. That was my problem. I didn't mind, because if you're going to, comics are a great way to express a lot of views. I mean, let's not forget that Chuck Dixon did a lot of, you know, very, I wouldn't say very right-wing, like alt-right, but he had some right-wing views in Punisher. Right. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't ham-fisted, like, on your head, and he was fair about it. Right. Having said that, though, Chuck, you really went off the wagon recently, so...
Again, I mean, when it comes to comics, like you said, I mean, it's a great medium to express your views and all of the above.
Yeah.
And in terms of diversity, I love and like diversity, but I hate it when it's a plot device. Diversity for diversity's sake is not.
When it's a gimmick, that's insulting.
Right.
For me, it's insulting because it's insulting people who have those views. It's insulting to people who believe that, and the fact that you think you can make a buck off of it is really mean-spirited. And again, like, I thought it was cool, you know, but you know, they really changed everything for change's sake. And that's what was real, and it went overboard. That was
and it's not just one thing. It's this character and that character and this person, this story. You're right. They just shove it all in your face, all at the same time, and that's, like you said, it turns into a gimmick, and it's not diversity, because that's not how the world is. It's just because this person has a Muslim friend and this person has a black friend doesn't mean everybody does, and it doesn't mean everybody can't. But it doesn't mean we all have a Muslim friend at the exact same time, or just because there's a gay person, you know, that moved into the house next to you, which is totally fine, but it doesn't mean we all have a gay neighbor. And it's fine to be there, and I want it there. I just don't want every title to have it, because then it's not natural, and it doesn't feel right. And it's like you said, they're just doing it to make a buck. They're trying. And
that's not fair to people who actually, you know, I have some of these views.
Right.
And it was, when I read some of these comics, I was like, this is insulting.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Like, when, you know, in Secret Empire, when Shannon's being dragged away by Hydra to be, you know, contained, I was like, and she was like, Steve, no one's going to put up with this. He's like, yeah, Twitter's going to be all, you know, up in arms about this. I was like, wow, that was, you know, a dick move. And the whole thing with the Inhumans being essentially put in concentration camps.
Yeah.
And they just got out because one of them threw up a cosmic cube. I was like, wow, this is total. And how they get away with having the Inhumans in concentration camps in America is have the U.S. government have the Inhumans sign these waivers so they're not at fault. I was like, oh no, that would not happen. Oh God, no. There would be no coming back from that. Like,
that is true, but again, comics, right?
Yeah. So that's my thing. And Spencer, like, again, I want to be cautiously optimistic because it sounds like he's really excited for it. But yeah, I think we've went a little too much on that. So in terms of other writers coming out, we've got, of course, Dan Slott on Iron Man soon, which I actually think is going to be good because
I think so too.
Because he needed to get a step away from Spider-Man. It's been too long, and I think he's burnt out. So hopefully Iron Man will give him like a breath of fresh air. I cannot pronounce the writer for Black Panther's name. Taishi.
Yeah,
I apologize, but he's also going to be writing Captain America, which is I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
And Black Panther's been pretty good, so
yeah, and he's still writing Black Panther, and they're going to be in space.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. The other thing that's been really big is that we have Al Ewing, who most of you guys will probably know best. He's been also getting up in terms of writing for Ultimates, not, you know, Ultimate Universe Ultimates, but he did Ultimate Universe, the Ultimates, excuse me, with Galactus and Black Panther. It was basically Illuminati without calling it Illuminati.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, and you actually read that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really dug it. The whole trying to find the answer to Galactus, essentially, his hunger. What basically drives him to be
the Planet Eater.
The Planet Eater, the Devourer, if you will. Basically, that's the whole concept of the first arc, at least. Yeah. Trying to figure out how to fix that, if you will.
Yeah. I just didn't dig the gold armor. Like, that was the one thing. Well, was the gold armor. Because, like, I mean, I know that the purple and blue is not striking, but, you know, I don't know. Like, it just felt kind of like he looks like a walking tangerine. But I still think it's a cool story, and I still love Galactus. I was kind of off-put by the gold and yellow.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, it was a pretty decent. I don't think it sold really well, just because of how unique it was, if you will, like that team put together. But personally, I really liked the squad, and the comic itself was pretty good. But you know, so my faith is in that writer. I think he's going to do pretty good. And
I like the idea that, you know, in this story is that it's called the Immortal Hulk, in that Banner cannot die, and due to Avengers No Surrender, he cannot die anymore. And this is a guy who wants to die at his core. But on the other hand, having said that, we did have a point in the Mark Waid run, and a little bit further, is that Banner came to terms with the Hulk.
True.
And it was like, it's like living with diabetes. I was like, Bruce, diabetes doesn't turn you into a rage monster and kill people. But I understood where he was coming from on that.
Right, no, it's like, what can you do with it? You got to live with it. You got to figure it out. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. I understand.
But now he and Bruce found peace. I mean, it was a shit deal, you know, getting an arrow to the face by Hawkeye. And I still call BS in Civil War 2 when Iron Man's like, oh, Bruce and I were such good friends. I was like, oh, don't give me that, Tony. Don't give me that. You're such a good friend. You shot him into space and went out of your way. Not to mention an original sin. It turned out you caused him to be the Hulk. You know, you shot him into space and went out of your way multiple times to discredit him just because he was the Hulk. And you knew he was smarter than you.
That could be why.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of it all, that could be the root of it all. When it all comes down to, we don't know where the direction of their story is going to go, but I'm sure. I mean, I can see that. I mean, we all know how egotistical he is as it is. I can definitely see Marvel kind of going in that route.
And the other thing is like, and again, he got a BS deal for the arrow to the face because and then it turned out that what's his face's vision, after they killed him, he says, oh, it probably wasn't going to come to pass with Hulk destroying the Earth, and it was like, oh wow,
right.
That, like, is it not obvious yet that I really despise Civil War 2 more than Civil War 1?
Again, it was a cash grab. We all know that. That's what they had. But I think for that particular story, just from the title alone and how you just mentioned, we all know that he wants nothing more than to die, and the fact
peace.
that he can't die.
And he had it, and now he'll never get it.
Right, and it brings an element to the character that, I mean, not like he could really die anyway to begin with. I mean, his healing factor is so top notch that, but you know, overall now it's like there's new elements to his character that maybe a lot of people have a hard time writing, you know, because I don't necessarily believe he's one-dimensional, but a lot of people tend to come at Hulk one-dimensionally. They just think he hulks out and that's the end of him. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how they play with, you know, hopefully they do go that route. You know, he wants to die, but now he definitely can't die. And how do you come to peace with that? You know, and in the future, how stories progress, you know, his loved ones are definitely going to die, so...
Yeah. And the other thing is that after Hulk's death, a lot of his characters... Like, Rick Jones died in Secret Empire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how's he going to deal with, like... Yeah, his best friend was killed. Betty, his wife, has disappeared. You know, and yeah, he took away, in Mark Waid run, he took all their Hulk powers away from him, which was kind of weird. And now we have multiple Hulks again, because Scar, his son Scar, is still out there.
Still out there, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. I think he went back to the Savage Land.
I don't remember, but I'd say probably.
Yeah, you know, his daughter with Thundra is in the future. Ross still out there. Well, he's not the Hulk anymore, but he's
For
still
now.
for now. He's still out there. It's going to be interesting to see when he comes back, because he's going to feel like cheating.
No, for sure. I mean, he was right there. He probably, you know, I guess the best way to look at it is like you finally get what you want and then have it pulled away from you.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how grim or sad it is, you know, that what he wanted more than anything was to die at this point and have that just yanked away from him, and then to come back and then have the stable pieces of his life are no longer there. I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. And
the other thing is that I'm wondering with Hulk is that what is he going to be? Is he going to be Smart Hulk, or is he going to be, you know, Savage? You know, Hulk smash, like, because it could be interesting to see, like, you know, how Hulk's dealing with this now. You know? Yeah, true, absolutely. I mean, but at the end of the day, we all know we want Hulk smash. I mean, no matter how smart and interesting the first half of the book will be, if he was smart, we all know at the end of the day we're gonna get Smash. I mean, that's what we all want. That's what we all want Smash, baby. Oh, I'm so proud of that. So, I mean, anything else? Any other titles that I don't know about? Because again, I've been living on the rock the past week and a half. Well, the last one that was of any really big news was Mark Waid on Doctor Strange. And the big thing is that it's going to be Strange in space. Yeah, he's in space now. Why and how? Do we know? Well, I guess it's building off a little of Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange, where magic was nearly wiped out in the universe. And magic was starting to, like, rekindle itself. After being nearly wiped out by an alien from an alternate universe where he used science to kill magic. It's actually really cool. Like, Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange is actually really cool. But like I was saying, Strange is apparently going into space to locate other magic throughout the universe. And we do know, like, little hints here and there, that there is magic on other worlds. So that's going to be cool to see magic from alien magic. Yeah, that would definitely be, at the very least, a cool visual, I'm sure. I mean, even if we just get a typical magic story, but the visuals would definitely be pretty interesting. Yeah. And Mark Waid has actually written Doctor Strange before. Like, I think he showed up in Avengers feat. He actually wrote a Doctor Strange miniseries a while back when Strange was, like, not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore, which has happened so many times, and Loki's now the Sorcerer Supreme, yeah. Which I'm like, really? Loki? I mean, again... There's worse choices, though. Let's be honest. If I was going to have any say, I would have picked Magique, you know, Ileana to be. Yeah. And I know she's not exactly stable, but yeah, and Loki's been, like, Vegeta of Marvel recently. Amen. Where he's been half in, half out. In terms of, he's like a cat passing in and out of the door of good and evil. So it also seems like we're going to be getting Multiple Man back. So yeah, Multiple Man. Do we know if that's going to be Fresh Start, or is that something between now and Fresh Start? I think it's going to be a fresh start, and it's not going to be with Peter David writing it, which is odd because that was his baby in X Factor. I can't remember the writer's name, but I'm glad Jamie Madrox is back, because that was a really, really crap deal they did in Death of X.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me, like, what I hate more, Death of X or Secret Empire or Civil War 2,
You'd have to.
it'd be Death of X followed by X-Men versus Inhumans. Oh, God, I nearly had an aneurysm reading those comics.
With you, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I didn't mind it too much. Again, anything X-Men, I automatically tend to just kind of go with the flow at this point. But, I mean, it was okay. But I'm kind of excited to see him back. That'd be pretty cool. I completely forgot about him, to be honest with you, till we talked about it earlier today. So I'm looking forward to that. That's probably, between Spider-Man and that, my two top that I'm definitely going to be checking out with Fresh Start.
Yeah. And I guess also because he's, like, apparently getting a movie with James Franco as playing as Madrox.
I believe that when I see it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Like, anything more, like, Fox announces now is like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it.
When I see it, exactly. And
I still don't believe that Dark Phoenix is happening until I see a trailer. That's how much I don't believe.
That would be... Oh, man, imagine the backlash they would get if that movie doesn't come out, though. Oh, man, that'd be...
They push back New Mutants for next year, remember?
Yeah, I saw that. But... I mean, I don't understand why they did that either, but that one I think is going to be okay, just because it's a different take. So
well, the whole thing is that they said that for these reshoots that the movie wasn't scary enough. For a horror, wow, that's not a good sign. And this is directors the biggest thing the director had done was The Fault in Our Stars. I'm starting to see why it needed some reshoots.
So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing, though, if you're going to pull it back because it's not scary enough. That means it takes it from being like a teen horror movie to an actual horror movie.
Yeah. And they're adding another character now.
Who?
And they haven't announced. I think it might be... Well, they had Magma in there. They got the entire lineup. Could be Warlock. Could be...
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Not Adam Warlock, because he's already...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know your X-Men, you know who Warlock is. So.
I would love to see how they get that across when we're talking a supernatural...
Yeah, and the Demon Bear's the villain.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, a supernatural, esque story, and then Warlock, total space case, if you will. So it'd be really interesting to see how they go with that film. But, I'm looking forward to it. It's the best I can say for, as you know, with me and Fox Marvel. So... For me to be somewhat interested in a Fox Marvel movie, other than Deadpool, is a plus at this point. So I am still looking forward to it at least until the merger is finalized or dissolved in some way. That's the last Fox Marvel movie I'm looking forward to.
So that's pretty much it. But knowing Marvel, by the time we get this video up, 10 more titles get announced.
And we'll be with you next week with those.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all we got for right now. So just comment below, let us know, what do you guys think of all of this? Are you guys excited or are you guys not? But once again, hope you all enjoyed these videos. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and see you once again in the universe.